Well, earlier this year, I predicted that there would be a red wave in the midterm election. And thankfully, I wasn't the only one predicting that. In fact, many leading experts and even Democrats have stated that they're in big trouble and that a red wave is likely coming in the midterm election. Now, I also made another prediction stating that I believe the Democratic Party would not take this sitting down and that they would play every card and do everything in their power to prevent that from happening. And lo and behold, I was right. The DNC has just made a checkmate move, if you will, or an attempted checkmate move in order to target the midterm election. And when you find out what it is, to be quite frank, you are going to be so livid. And to be honest, I haven't really heard anyone reporting on any of this. So let's dive into what on earth the Democrat National Committee, the DNC, has just done just before the midterm elections. Well, take a look here at the DNC's website. I want to show you this. Here it is. This is DNC recommendations for combating online misinformation. What exactly is this? Well, what you're going to see in just a moment is that is the DNC forming a coalition with big tech social media. I'm talking Facebook, I'm talking TikTok, I'm talking Google, YouTube, all your radical leftist social media sites. And the Democrat is teaming up, if you will, or pushing these social media websites to combat misinformation. Misinformation, as we have learned over the years, is key term for political information that they don't want out. You know, like the Biden laptop story that turned out to be true, and it was true when we started. You guys got all that on Restricted Republic. Like President Trump being bad from the platform for not being able to say certain things about the election or certain things about COVID. Yeah, like all of that. And specifically targeting conservatives and libertarians on the platforms. Well, here we have the DNC yet again forming a coalition just before the midterms. And might I say this? The RNC has no say in it. No, they're not doing anything about it. Nope. This is a one-sided push just before midterms. It just makes me sick to my stomach, but here it is. And here's what they say: comparative social media policy analysis. And it says social media has quickly become a major source of news for Americans. That's a key point there. It says in 2020 survey, over half of Americans reported getting the news from social media on a regular basis. 36% from Facebook, 23 YouTube, 15 from Twitter. Despite a huge number of Americans turning to social media for news, major social media companies have not done enough. No, they've done way too much against conservatives and libertarians, but I digress, to take responsibility for information quality on their sites. As quickly as these sites become destination for news seekers, they have just as quickly become large propagators of disinformation and propaganda. Let me pause right there. They make a couple of points. They say a majority of Americans, 36% get their news from Facebook, 23 from YouTube, and I think it was 15 from Twitter. And they're saying so much news is coming from social media that we at the DNC need to do something about it. But the RNC and our other political opposition, they have no say in the matter because all these social media sites are run by leftists and leftist organizations. Therefore, the DNC is basically stating here, we're going to target disinformation that they deem is disinformation and propaganda that they deem is propaganda, because what is going on here is a team up, and they've had the team up for a very long time, but now they're pushing it to happen more and to happen harder, knowing the fact that a lot of Americans, a huge mass of them, get their source from social media. Do you see what is going on here? And I know that you do, but the article goes on to state this. It says the DNC is working, keyword there, working with major social media companies to combat platform manipulation and train our campaigns on how best to secure their accounts and protect their brands against disinformation. Wow, progress has been made since the 2016 President Trump election. Social media companies still have much to do to reduce the spread of disinformation and combat malicious activity, which means we want more. Social media companies are ultimately responsible for combating abuse and disinformation on their systems, but as an interested party, we're compiled this comparative policy analysis to present social media companies with an additional potential solution. So who is putting forth the solution? The Democratic Party. Why is the solution only being put forth by one political party? And how much control does that political party have over social media websites? This is the question that we have to ask, and a very important question, especially this, I believe, is one of their big moves that could assure, if you will, maybe in a Democrat's mind, their victory. Now, I think they'll still have a long way to go with it, but either way, one side telling all of social media what to do is kind of a little bit much, don't you think? Why is the RNC not having a say? Why are all these social media sites coincidentally run by leftists? And why is so much news funneled through them? And why is the DNC seeking to get their hands on such information? And here's what they're actually suggesting. And you don't suggest this kind of stuff. You only suggest this kind of censorship in communist countries, by the way. But here's their social media policy analysis. And you can see Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of which are run by radical leftist groups of people, radical leftists. And these are the ones. Notice that Parler, Gab, Rumble. Again, get to Rumble. I've got an account there on Restricted Republic. I also have an account on BitChute. I've got BitChute. I'm under Lisa Haven Restricted Republic. You can find me there. But notice none of those alternative media sites are on here. None of those are on here. Just the controlled radical leftists. And of course, because they're the only ones who are going to listen and censor the political opposition, which we already know is happening. They censored Trump. They censored many commentators. Jack Posobiec has been, Dan Bongino, Fox News contributor Tucker, has recently been suppressed. You do not hear of the same suppression happening on the right, just with those, on the left, just with those who are Republicans, conservatives, and libertarian, just those types. So here's some of the policies that they want them to expand on. Number one, promote authoritative news. In other words, push up CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and the like. Second, enforce a comprehensive political misinformation policy with progressively severe penalties for repeat offenders. Like they're already doing, how they kicked President Trump and many other conservatives off their platform. Number three, remove malicious and manipulated media and deep fakes. Four, enforce rules on hate and incitement consistently and comprehensively. And they actually, I want to show you the expanding on this one. Number four, and it gives examples. And it says, reports have suggested that social media companies treat white nationalist terrorists different than Islamic terrorists. So they said there's this widespread abuse report about white nationalists. So here's the thing. They're saying that they need to go more after white nationalists like they do Islam. The problem is, what is your definition of a white nationalist? And to a liberal, it would be President Trump, conservatives, and libertarians. So in that one section alone, they're really targeting their political opposition. But they go on. Number five here, establish a policy prohibiting scaled automation. Number six, you've got a little bit here. I'll skip down. Number 8 here, make content algorithms more transparent to journalists and academics. Make public content and engagement transparent. Number 10, make advertisement content related to political issues easily accessible and transparent, which may I suggest more on the Democratic side, of course, than the Republican. And then they go on state-controlled media and the rest of it. But there you have it. There's a lot of those points there, and they expand in the whole document how Twitter is doing it, how Facebook is doing it, how TikTok is doing it, and how all these sites basically need to expand on that censorship. In other words, they want them to target their political opposition. And it's only a limited time, by the way, how long we're going to be on these alternative sites. That's why I tell you, get to Rumble. Again, I'm at Restricted Republic on Rumble. Get to BitChute. I'm on Lisa Haven Restricted Republic. Or get, on BitChute, I'm on Lisa Haven Restricted Republic on BitChute. Or get to Restricted Republic. Ultimately, that's where I'm going to end up, and that's where I put all my content. We do live streams. I take off commercials here on YouTube, so it's commercial-free content there on Restricted Republic. But get to these alternative sites, because this all of these sites, you so much as publish a video that they don't get along with, it'll get removed from here. It won't even get published. But this is a lot of the things that we are having to combat and fight. And as you can see here, this is a huge move on the chessboard by the Democratic Party just before the midterm elections. And the RNC does nothing whatsoever, nothing. Nothing. Again, sitting freaking ducks. But it's not like the social media websites would listen to them anyway, because the Democratic Party and the progressive liberal socialists have such a pull. That's why what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter is so important. And I really hope we prevail. And that's why they put forth the poison pill, the board members there at Twitter who don't even own little to no shares, because they care more about censoring us instead of actually the earnings that the shareholders are going to make on Twitter. And that should say a lot as far as what's going on. We don't have one major platform on our side that is promoting, say, a more Republican point of view. We have zero. We have Fox News, who promotes a little bit of it, but no major social media sites. We have some that are growing, but the more that they grow, the better. I'm on some of those. I'm on Parler, I'm on Getter, I'm on Truth Social. You guys can all follow me there under Lisa Haven. Anyhow, wanted to bring that to your attention. I have not heard anybody talk about this DNC plan. Of course, they've been working with them for a long time, but this is upping their working with these social media networks, and government should have nothing to do with social media. They need to get the hell out of our social media, because who gave the Democratic Party the right to tell social media sites what exactly to do? There's the libertarian in me coming out. But anyhow, with that, please don't forget to check out my partner, getthetea.com/Lisa. Now, Ronnie, the owner over there, created this special specifically for you guys. I asked him for it because it's got my two favorite products, my Get the Tea Super Strength Tea. You guys would not regret that. With the GI Joy, and these in conjunction can really clean out your digestive system. So if you're looking to get cleaned out and have a healthier lifestyle, this can absolutely do it for you. And he's also discounted it there. So check it out. I've got the link in the description box below, getthetea.com/Lisa, and you can take advantage of that special offer. And they also have regular things with tea and stuff, or supplements that you can buy. Just make sure you say heard it on Lisa Haven in your checkout. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.